for a lot of different reasons. When you see flex pay and 30-day return policy, and what you get, what you really get, as opposed to a lot of bait and switch out there. Oh, Mike, wow, what is this?
Well, I was just talking about the U.S. silver proof set. The United States government this year, for the very first time in its history, made silver proof quarters, which, well, they've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's the very first time they've done them in pure silver.
Oh, whoa.
In pure silver. They're 999 fine silver. Prior to this, they've always been 900 fine. So this is pure silver. The very first time. So this is an absolutely unique set. So this is, like I said, 5 pure silver quarters from this year. The first time they've ever done it. Not only in the National Park Series, but I mean period. Now here's the amazing part. This is the United States government issued lens that you see right there. United States, USA, United States Mint. Right here, there's the United States Mint logo. This is the original government packaging, just as it came from the Mint. The Mint has been selling these. You know what the Mint sells them for?
Huh.
$36.95.
Oh, they do?
I'm selling them for $3 less than the Mint.
Oh, good grief.
Okay, I'm selling them for $3 less than the Mint.
Oh, Lord.
And the biggest, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So, yeah, that's right, I've only got 800 of them.
I'm like, okay.
What we did is we bought 800 silver sets.
Oh, no. Okay.
And I took the other, there's other coins that go in the big set.
Okay.
Okay. And we used those. You just saw the reverse proof penny coming up on the other one.
Right.
And so I have some quarter lenses left over.
Okay.
I will sell them for less than wholesale. Okay, the wholesale cost, the lowest price you can buy these coins for from the United States government is $36.95. By the way, their shipping and handling is $4.95.
Oh, no kidding.
Ours is $3.50, so there's another $1.50. So you're basically all in $5 less than the United States Mint to be able to get the only pure silver quarters that have been done in United States history, in the history of the United States government, just like they come from the United States Mint, the same exact lens, same exact coin.
Wild.
And it's just absolutely incredible. We were putting this together, and I was talking to all the staff, and they're going, and we put the price, $33.95, they go, doesn't the Mint charge $36 for that? Haven't I seen those elsewhere? Because people pay $36.95 actually.
Yeah.
Pay $36.95, and then other people charge, I've seen them charge $50 and $55. I go, yeah.
Right.
They go, but we're gonna do $33.95. I said, yeah, we're gonna do $33.95. So ultimately what these are, people say, so what are these quarters? The United States government started doing the national parks quarters. And they started doing those, I guess we're in our 8th year of the national parks quarters. So every state in the union, every US territory either gets a national park or a national historic area. Most people don't know, not every state has a national park, but they have national historic areas.
Right.
And so this is this year's edition from 2000 and 2019. They started in 2010, so we're very near the end. But all those quarters, all of the state quarters in silver, all the quarters made by the United States government since 1796 have been 900 fine silver. Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of silver quarters made by the United States government, every single solitary one of them, 900, what we call coin silver.
Right.
Solid silver, but only 90%. They decided this year, for the very first time, to do absolutely pure. That has only been reserved for the American Silver Eagle forever.
Oh, wow.
The American Silver Eagle has always been 999 fine. And only the American Silver Eagle, only the American Bullion Program. That changes right here. And so I have got the first, so it's not like this is, in essence, a throwaway deal. This is a really important set of coins that I'm selling for less than the United States government. Literally about $5 less when you count the shipping and handling. About $5 less than you can buy it directly from the United States Mint. That I find to be truly, utterly, incredibly important. I mean, I think one of the very first times we've ever done it in the year of issue. I'm able sometimes to go back stuff 15 years ago, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago that I can sell less than the U.S. Mint. But I mean, right here, here right now, it would cost you, the only price you can get this from the mint is $36.95 and $4.95 shipping and handling. So you have to understand what your opportunity is with this is to get not only a historic coin. There are 5 pure silver quarters that have been done in the history of the United States Mint since 1796, and you get all 5 of them. You get them all in the original government packaging, just like the mint did it. It says USA right here. There is the U.S. Treasury seal. This is the same exact lens that it comes in from the United States Mint, except it's only $33.95. You have to understand there is the better part of an ounce of silver in there, pure silver, because each one of these coins is pure silver. I think they're 8 grams a piece, so you got about 40 grams of silver in there. I think there's 7.93 grams, I think, of silver. And now that they're 99995, so you've got, like I said, the better part of an ounce of silver there as well for $33. So now you have a historic coin in the United States government, original government packaging that you're going to see right here for less than the United States government charges for.
Well, I'll tell you what, instead of the government telling me what I owe on my taxes, can I just ask Mike Mizak? If you charge less.
Yeah, I'll charge less.
If you charge less, I'll send the check to you.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
about that?
How about that? We'll give you the what is that? About a 15% discount.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take it at this point.
Yeah,
I will take it.
Won't you?
But I mean, but it really kind of leads to the point that you do things that nobody else does, including the United States Mint.
And so, like I said, it's not anything else. This is an incredibly important set of coins.
Yeah.
Once again, these are the only pure silver quarters ever done in the history of the United States Mint. Now, I've taken an incredibly important set of coins, something that's phenomenally valuable, desirable, and collectible, and now I have made it at a price that even the manufacturer, so wholesale price, if as a dealer I called the United States Mint and said I wanted 5,000 sets of quarters, what kind of deal can you make me? They'd go, $36.95. That's your deal.
Oh, that's crazy.
$36.95. How about if you just want one? Well, I was watching HSN. I get them for $33.95. They go, well, you should probably do that. Because our best price is $36.95. And then if you look at the coins, I mean, some great coins right here. So you've got the San Antonio Missions coin that you're going to have right here. It's by Lowell, Massachusetts. I love that coin. The War Memorial, the Pacific War Memorial coin there, I really like as well that you're going to have. Because those are the U.S. territories that are up there in the war in the Pacific right up here. I think that's the Northern Mariana Islands, if I'm not mistaken, and that might be Guam right there. Or that's Guam and that's Northern Mariana. And then you got the Wilderness coin right there, the Great Wilderness. So those are basically some of the last coins in the entire national park's quarter set. And then flip that over. That is what pure silver looks like. And I think that's why the government decided to do them, because the coins are just so much better that you're going to have right there. Truly spectacular, literally for less than the price of admission from the United States. Original United States government issue pricing, $36.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. We're going to save you $1.50 on shipping, and we're going to save you another $3 on the coins. It is a unique opportunity. I only have 800 sets at this price. I have a primetime show tonight.
Right.
I am assuming this is a one-day only sellout. I'm assuming one-day only sellout on this. So get in on this at just a spectacular. Great coins, historic coins, collectible coins, historic pricing as well.
There are only a couple hundred remaining, and that is just a sign of things to come. So more with our coin collector and Mike Mizak. Please stay with us.
Think all